All right, another episode of Conversation After Dark. Tay, what's up with you?
Everything's going good with me. What's going on with you?
It's all good. It's all good. Tell people where they can find us.
You can find us at Conversate After Dark everywhere. And if you want to be a guest on the show or you have a topic you want us to cover, you can reach us at CVAD, the podcast at gmail.com.
That's right. Hit us up on our website, www.conversationafterdark.com. Make sure you tell everybody about the show. All right, so Tay, let's do the icebreaker.
Yes. Okay. How does eye contact during sex make you feel?
Ugh. um, I like it. And I probably don't do it enough just because like I'm like kind of in my own little world or whatever. And I think it's been a long time since I've been in a like really strong, committed relationship. And I think that's one of those things, and maybe I'm off on this, but that's kind of one of those things you do with somebody that you really, really, really have a strong connection with. But I was challenged by a partner who was like, and she said, well, why don't you look at me? And it's not like one of those deals like she ain't attractive or she's not, good to look at because she is. But she was like, I want to look at you. She was like, I want to look at you. I want to look at you in your eyes, especially when you're doing what you're doing to me. And I was like, I don't know. I didn't think about it. But I've always heard that making eye contact and staring into each other's eyes, plus like that, what do you say, like synchronated breathing where like y'all breathing on the same at the same rate or whatever at the same time. I heard that
Mhm.
it's like enhances the whole experience, but I have to admit I haven't been there yet. What about you?
I agree. Not necessarily with the breathing, but that eye contact enhances the experience when I'm, when the emotions are behind it. So like when I'm in love with somebody,
Yes.
though that eye contact kind of seals in the feelings that are there. You know how they say like sex is good, period. But it's better when you're actually in love with the person you're having sex with. That for me. That eye contact kind of seals the deal for me, if you want to say that. But I can and have done it when I haven't been in love. Because I told you, I even if I'm not in love, I like that passionate making love feel, even if I'm not in love.
So there's a question that I have. You're a lot more mature than me when it comes to this. Hey, so you have made love before?
Yes, yes.
What's the difference between okay, so there's just fucking, right? Like when
Hmm.
y'all just doing whatever. And sometimes when you're in love, y'all just fuck,
Hmm.
right? What's the difference between this having sex with somebody and actually like making love? Like, what's the difference in your opinion?
Um, Good question. Uh, when that term making love is thrown in the mix, um, I want to say that to me signifies I'm actually in love with this person. But like I said, I don't necessarily. I'm trying to figure out how to word this. Um, but the that passion that can be involved in making love, I also enjoy when I'm not in love with somebody, if that makes sense.
Okay, I get it. No, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. Because
Because
normally,
to me, it's like, okay, when we talk about like being toxic, like making love with somebody that we're not with or whatever, to me,
mhm,
that just means like I'm willing to do what almost whatever with this person. Like, if we tongue kissing while we having sex and all that old shit, some people said, no, you can't do that because that's too much. That's,
mhm,
there has to be feelings involved for you to do that. And if you do that, then that's going to invoke feelings in me. And I don't, and we already said this is a friends with benefits situation. Well, to me, that's just how I like to do it. And maybe I'm just a toxic person. So that's why I'm like, What's making love?
Right.
Like,
Which
have
is
you ever told somebody you love them while you having sex?
well, I've said it plenty of times when I have actually been in love with people. So,
Right.
I mean,
Now I'm talking about during sex. Do you say I love you?
with you talking about with somebody I was not in
No,
love
no,
with.
no. I'm talking about somebody you were actually in love with. Hopefully
Yeah.
you ain't telling motherfuckers you love them and you ain't
I
in
think
love
I
with them.
may have accidentally one time. Not
You saw a look on my yeah.
only because there is someone
You put it down.
in my no, there's someone in my life who keeps saying that I told him that, but he's not somebody that I've ever considered myself in love with. So I'm thinking maybe I accidentally said it one time. I don't know. That's the conclusion I came up with. But in terms of somebody that I'm actually in love with and I'm having sex with, yes, I've said I love you many times, all the time. Because that is really what sex is for. It was designed. If you want to get I'm a Christian. If you want to get biblical with it, it was designed to enhance the connection between a husband and wife, so that you're really supposed to be doing it with somebody you're in love with. I mean, if you want to go down that road. So yeah, so when I've been in love with someone, yes, I have used it. I will use it all the time.
I never have. I think I probably have said it back to somebody. Um, I don't know. It seems kind of like cheesy to me. It's not something I think about while having sex. And I think now that we're talking about it, that's something that I probably need to really delve into. Because I hope to be in a relationship again, right? And I want it to be loving and I want us to be safe and secure with one another. And I think part of that is doing something that your partner may want that you don't necessarily want to do. And I think in the past, well, I know in the past that's been a problem for me because I'm a man who's set in his ways. I'm a type A personality. Don't you say nothing, Tay. And and so sometimes I'm like, man, that's some bullshit. I ain't doing that. But then it's kind of like,
I don't know if that's a type A personality thing though, because I've dated many type A personalities and they've been able to say it.
well, what reason why I say it's a type A personality because me in my personal opinion, type A personalities have control issues, and I know I have control issues, and not where I want to control everything my woman does because I'm actually the total opposite. I'm the what you want to do. That's what you want. Let me go make it happen. So I'm not into controlling my partner, the woman that I'm with, but I do like to control the situations that I'm in, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
And I can see somebody saying I love you as a way to, if they want to exert that control, knowing that typical, stereotypically, women kind of fall in those emotion realms when sex is involved. So that would make a woman fall for you more, which is why there have been stories about guys using it and not meaning it.
I was just about to say that. I was just
Mhm.
about to say that. So I got a homeboy. Now, back in the day, he used to bag a lot of chicks. And he's most of my dudes, they nice looking guys or whatever, and we ain't got no ugly dudes in my crew or what have you. So you shouldn't have a problem being able to get with a nice looking woman or somebody who's got something going for them. But back in the day, this dude he was known for telling chicks, "I love you," and these chicks, once he did what he would say, "I love you" just to get the draws, or maybe he just said it because he thought he felt it at the moment, or maybe his version of love was different than what they thought it was. But by him telling him that he loved them, I think number one, if they put their guard down and they gave him the sex. And then number two, what it then did was make them crazy. So then when he flips the script and it's like, okay, I got what I wanted. Now I'm off to the next target, the next mission. Then all of a sudden she's beside herself, and you like, well, why is she going crazy over y'all little fling or whatever? And then we come to find out he telling these chicks, I love you. So we called him out on it. I was like, dude, that's cheating. Like, if I wanted to go out here and tell every chick that I loved her, Yeah, I probably could, get a lot more women as well. I think he grew out of that. I mean, at least I hope he did. But I always look down on that shit. I was like, "Dog, that's cheating to be out here telling chicks you love them and you don't really mean it, or you don't mean it in the context in which they are accepting it.
Right. Yeah.
Because it could be a whole like, yeah, I love you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love you, Tay, but I'm not. We ain't in love with each other, no shit like that.
Right.
So it ain't no, yeah, nah, that ain't cool. You ever had to do that to you?
Not that I know of. And if it happened, I'm the type of person, I think this was probably because I grew up hanging with my male cousin
Mhm.
and I had a lot of guy friends growing up. I don't take nothing a guy says to me serious. It takes, and that's probably one of my issues. It takes me a long time to trust people. And so a guy could have said it and was trying, but I mean, my thing is if I want to have sex with you, I'll have sex with you. It wouldn't be because you said something that made me want to. So, and I love you doesn't work for me.
Okay.
And I won't believe it unless we have some time in.
Okay. So I know it's not a cookie cutter answer, but like, typically what's a satisfactory amount of time to be like, I love you.
I don't know. You're right. It's not a cookie cutter answer. Um, for me, it's not just the amount of time, but the quality of the time that we spent together. Like have we had
Yeah.
any deep conversations? Have we hung out with each other more than just at night? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, I get it. I used to ask my dad, so I had like a long-term girlfriend in college, and it was the normal thing to just, okay, once we start nearing the end of college, people were like, okay, what we're gonna do, what city we're gonna move to, and people were saying, okay, we're gonna get married. So I was with a girl, she graduated like a year before me, a year and a half before me. So I was still, doing my thing. And we were hanging tough. I still was way immature and wasn't doing right by her and all that. But she was making grown people's decisions. She was like, I'm coming to leave. She stayed in the little college town we went to. She got a job probably because she wanted to still be with me. And then eventually she said, "No, I'm going back home so I can get like a grown person's job in a real city." And I remember asking my dad, "Hey, how did you know you wanted to marry mom?" And he was just like, "You just know." And at first I thought he was trying to blow me off. But then, fast forward when I got with my ex-wife, it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, you just know. You just know, like, you know what? I want her to be my wife. And you start thinking differently on how you approach that person. So I definitely understand what you're saying. I think I've been in love with a couple of people, but yeah, but like in love, like deep in love, I say when I first got married, I was there, and in marriage it kind of goes up and down, and sometimes y'all like deeply in love, and sometimes y'all deeply can't stand each other, you know. But yeah, I've never done the whole "I love you" just to get the draws. That's some bullshit to me. That's some bullshit. Darius said, "Dang, that's foul. I got to try that." And Jenny said,
Now,
no.
I did have one experience. I just remembered this because I try to forget this experience. But in my 20s, I was like, there was no having sex with me without a condom, and we're not in a relationship. Like that just wasn't happening. I do remember this guy, and I always want to
He
say
said,
it's
he said, will you go with me so he can hit it raw?
no. I never told him this, but it was like 2 weeks into knowing him, he told me he loved me, and I was like. I mean, it just didn't make any sense to me because of how I am. Like love takes time. So 2 weeks for me was like, you're a liar. And then he was from a certain country that are known for scammers. So that made it worse for me not believing him.
he was like, Tay, I love you.
He
what
was born
now, I want you to be my wife.
No, he was born here, so he didn't have an accent, but his family was from that other country. I'm not gonna say what country.
Shout out to Prince Akeem. Somebody somebody inbox asked conversation said, if you're really your prince, I'll marry you. Yeah, Judy said, laugh my ass off, Nigeria.
See, I wasn't gonna say it.
Stop being racist, but you're right. Everybody do it. I remember it was the 85 South show. The dude said, man, he said, I saw a Nigerian get some free gas with a Holiday Inn card.
Oh,
With a key card.
see.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. That was bad. So let me ask you this.
Hmm.
Have you ever got with somebody like y'all got past the whole we get to know each other stage, and you talked about not having sex without a condom with them if y'all weren't in a relationship? Has somebody ever asked to do a sexual act or performed a sexual act on you that made you question them as a person, like a person you
Yeah.
want to be with?
Um, it didn't necessarily make me question whether I wanted to be with him because it was a fling anyway, but it did make me question him because I knew his past.
Oh, you can't give details?
Yes, I can.
Go
So this was the first guy who ever ate the groceries.
ahead. Okay.
And I knew when in his younger days he had sold drugs and so he had been in jail. So that did make me kind of question it. Because that was my first experience with it. I had never heard of it before, like
Why
nothing.
they call it
So
groceries? I never understood that. Because the food, is that
I
what it
don't
is?
know. I don't know why it's called that. I just didn't want to
Okay.
say
All
what
right.
it actually is.
Analingus.
Yes. Yeah. So like I said, I had never heard of it before, never experienced it before. So him doing that made me think, what did you experience while you was in jail?
Oh, that's
So
unfair. I think that's a little unfair.
no, now come on.
Now, now,
This
now.
was when I was in my 20s. Let me go back. This was 20 something years ago. Analingus was not a thing back then.
You're
And
right.
anytime a guy did anything that had to do with anal anything, that's where people's mind was going back then. You gotta go back in the past. And he
I
had
hear
been in
you.
jail before, and you know what the stereotype is about guys in jail or people in jail, because it's about the women too. Come on now, give me some
Well,
give me
here's
some
the thing.
grace.
Here's the thing. I hear what you're saying. I think, and the reason why I say it's unfair because some guys just like doing that. There's a lot of while you playing. There's a lot of women that like. Well, I won't say a lot. There's more than a few women that like to do that. Okay,
Yeah,
I know
after
that.
him, I found out it was a thing with people, but back then,
Yeah. So my thing is, if he only wanted to have anal sex, or like say that's how he gets off or whatever, and he had did some time, then I'd be like, what the fuck was you doing up in there? That would be more suspicious for me.
again, this was in my 20s. I hadn't had many, I didn't have much experience before him. I'm trying to think when I met
Bro.
him. Yeah, so I mean, and even though I read a lot about sex and stuff, I had still had never heard anything about. Actually, I do think that what was it, Scared Straight with
Yeah,
the guy who was
yeah.
talking about that was the only thing I had heard at that time about, eating it because he said he used to make the guys eat it. So that's where my mind went.
Ugh, yeah.
Look, don't judge me.
No, I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you. I understand. I mean, because I'm about to share, my story. And that's not unreasonable. It's not unreasonable for you to think that. I'm just not a big analingus person. I've never had it done to me, and I think I told you before. Like, I probably, I know a couple women that's like, yo, I like doing that shit. And number one, I'm not trying to have my legs up in the air. I ain't trying to be in the buck. I'm too big to be in the buck, and I'm not gonna bend my ass over. And second of all, like I be taking grown man shits. And even though I'm clean, like as much as I like to kiss, I can't be thinking about, and that's something maybe I got to work on. But like maybe one day, there's a lot of stuff that I haven't done, and with the right woman, I'll probably okay. Let me try it because I think we talked about in the past, being comfortable with your partner, and I think one of my biggest things is like being with somebody who you don't have to worry about weaponizing what y'all do if y'all break up and some shit. But
Mhm.
I think back in the day, um when I was less secure as a man, if a chick was, if she was a little bit too good at doing certain things or whatever, I'm like, damn, this motherfucker a hoe. Like shit, where you learn how to do all this shit from? Now thinking like maybe she just had one boyfriend, you know what I'm saying? They did a lot of experimentation or anything like that. But like if you was too good at what you was doing and you was my gal, I'm kind of like,
Talk about unfair. That's unfair.
I never said that it wasn't. I told
I
you.
didn't say you did. I'm just saying it
I
is.
told you it came from a very insecure place because now I'm like, hey, homeboy, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm reaping the benefits of whatever shit, all the practice that y'all did, all the shooting in the gym that y'all did. Shit. Hey, I got it now. So yeah, that was now the eating the ass thing. I do kind of got to look at you a little. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. Don't don't let me see one of your exes. Because like if you see an ex and I have to question, like if you got an ex that's kind of dusty some shit, I know you've been eating ass. Man, it's gonna it's gonna fuck up the whole shit. It's gonna
Oh
fuck.
my goodness.
You ever see somebody? You ever been with somebody and you see their ex, and then you start thinking like, damn. Like, what the fuck was you doing? You ever been that way? You be like, damn, man, what the fuck? What's going
I've
on?
put that mostly with um women who are crazy. Like you were really just after her body, weren't you? You wasn't thinking nothing about how she was as a person. That's usually what makes me think that. From the exes that I've seen, most of them have been okay looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least the ones that I've seen. So I don't know about if they had some roaches or whatever that they didn't want to show anybody, but I don't know about that.
So have you ever dated somebody that wasn't cute?
No. I've tried, but I'm shallow. And I admit that, and I don't care. They have to be attractive to me. I don't care if they attract anybody else. They have to be attractive to me.
I have dated. I dated a chick that wasn't. She was a cute girl, but she had a tooth problem. You know what I'm saying? Like one of her teeth was jacked up, and I could look past it, but my boys couldn't. So they was clowning me all the time. They was clowning me
Oh
all the
my
time. But the sex was amazing because we were both Pisces, and that Pisces on Pisces connection. I don't know how it is
God.
Capricorn to Capricorn. Y'all probably just sit there and like look mean at each other and shit. But but Pisces on Pisces, that shit is fire because like we all like both of us like super passionate, emotional and shit. But the problem with Pisces on Pisces is that shit can flame out real fucking quick because it's like too much emotions. So like if you
Yeah,
keep it in check, it's great. But and I've had a few Pisces. Yeah, it's
yeah.
been good.
I've
Not
dated.
all of them, but for the most
Yeah.
part, it's been a great situation.
Okay. I've dated guys who weren't necessarily my physical type. I think
Uh,
I said this before, but they were still attractive. So, you know,
gotcha. I understand. I understand. Yeah. So Jeannie said the groceries is recycled food. Groceries. That sounds
that's nasty.
it just does. It sounds disgusting to me, man. I never understood that the whole groceries thing. I was like, why would y'all call it that? That's And like, when did that become a big thing? Was that always a thing?
I didn't really start hearing about it. Like I said, it was the guy who did it to me the first time, and then that guy who was on that Scare Straight. I can't remember his name.
Do you think our mamas and them was doing that shit?
I don't know. I don't know.
Was they doing that in the 60s and 70s?
I don't know. Because back then black people didn't talk about stuff like that. I think white people was probably doing it, but black people were really conservative back then. Even when
Black
it
people are
comes
still
to
really conservative.
yeah, even when it comes to cunnilingus and fellatio, back when I was in my teens and early 20s, people weren't admitting that they were doing that stuff. That came later.
We talked about it on the show before. If
Yeah.
you were a girl who had gave head to somebody in high school, you was a whore. Not just a hoe. You was a
Yeah.
whore. You was you was nasty. And if you was a dude who was eating coochie, hey man, your shit was done. My homeboy, I ain't gonna say his name. My homeboy went down on the chick, and it really worked in his favor because low key, once chicks kind of knew that he was doing that, they was kind of like, like, what's up? But to the crowd, it was like, you a pussy eater, you a pussy eater. They was clowning him like crazy. And it really affected him, right? Because you getting bullied because you then went down on the chick. And then as soon as we left high school and went to college, everybody was doing it.
Yeah.
Proud to do it. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. Darius said Nigerians was doing it. Y'all gonna leave the Nigerians. Nigerians we got followed the show, they gonna leave the show alone. They go like, fuck you. I wanted to say something else, but I would cut that out. That was a bit too far. That was a bit too far. But yeah, so I was watching, speaking about people doing certain things with their partners, right? And I was watching this clip and I shared it with you where this chick was talking about how she had grown and developed as a woman and became more confident in herself. And one of the things that she liked to do was to watch her partner have sex with other women. And the guy was like, "You cool with that?" She was like, "Yeah, I'm cool with that." And it made me think that I've seen women, our age group, grown women, they've said that, yeah, and I'm cool with that. Some of them, they say it turns them on. Some of them, it says it turns them on for different reasons. Some of it's just like the energy that's involved. It like really gets them going. Others, it's like a more of a power trip thing. Like, I'm gonna let you fuck her in front of me, but you better wear her ass out. And for them, it was like a whole, I get this every day. You only get it when I allow him to give it to you. And that power trip made it something that they got off on. But it made me think about, the reverse guys who like to watch their women have sex with other dudes. It seems as if there's a lot more judgment for them that do that than it is a woman who be willing to watch and share her man. Do you agree with that? And if so, why is that?
Um, I do believe that men who like to watch do get more scrutiny. I think it's I think it's done more, but I do think they get more flack for it. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know why. I think it's because most men are territorial when it comes to their women. So they can't, because when this subject comes up, I always hear, "Ain't no way a guy can watch that. Ain't no way a guy could do it." Yes, there are a lot of men who could do it. I mean, there are whole porn categories dedicated to this. There
Right.
are people who live that lifestyle. There are people who do it, but I think it's unbelievable to a lot of men because they can't picture themselves in that situation.
Uh, you know, my thing is this. and we've talked about how, we both got down in the lifestyle, to different degrees, both of us. I don't think I'm man enough to do that, to actually like watch, not with my girl, not with my wife, not with my main girl. Now, if you are a friend of mine, a friend with benefits, something of that ilk, and we have a conversation about, hey, yo, this is something that I want to do. Would you be willing to help me do it? Like, yeah, we could talk about it, and we could, if that's something that you want to do, we can make that happen. But my girl, nah. I mean, I probably could do it with my girl, but we would have to have like a lot of conversations. She would have to be a hell of a woman, number one. She'd have to make me feel like I'm a king all the time. I'd have to feel 100% secure. And it would definitely have to be with somebody that we ain't gonna see again.
Mhm.
Because like I don't need the whole backtracking and all that old shit. And I'm not into the whole compersion thing. Like I'm cool with the open relationships. I've admitted to that in the past, but I'm not getting off on you being with somebody else. I just believe that monogamy is not for everybody. And I question if it's for me, and I'm not going to be unfair and say, well, I could be with whoever I want to be with, and my woman cannot. But I don't need to hear the details about y'all shit. All I need to hear about is what I need to know. Is like, okay, are you safe? When you gonna be home? And that's that. I don't need to know if his dick is bigger than mine. I don't even need to know if my dick is bigger than his. You know what I mean? I don't need to know anything.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
watching my partner be with somebody else, yeah, we'd have to have like a real conversation because, like you said, men are territorial. And I think, what if, like I said, I'm not into the whole comparison shit. What if you sitting there watching it, and next thing you know, he hitting a position that you can't hit, or she making a sound she ain't made with you, right? And then you beside yourself. And then next thing you know, and I got a memory like a fucking elephant. So I'm gonna remember that shit all the time. And I'm probably gonna remember it while we fucking on some shit. And I'm gonna be like, nah. So why do it to yourself? But I can't judge a man if that's how he gets off. Now, I've asked women like, yo, you comfortable with that? Because I know there's some dudes that like push their women to do that. Like, I want to see you with somebody else. And as long as it's consensual and everybody is getting pleasure from it, then that's cool, they thing. But for me, I don't think I'm man enough, Tay.
I want to want to change your wording just a little bit. I don't think it has anything to do with being man enough. It's just a preference. Some people have it, some people don't, and that's cool. But I don't think that takes away from your manhood just because, you
Well,
know.
the reason why I say I'm not man enough is because I feel as if you were to do that, that you have to be secure. Like I look at it differently. Like some dudes will look at it like, oh man, you a bitch ass dude. You know what I'm saying? You sit there and watch your girl fuck somebody else and all that old shit. I look at it differently. I look at it as you secure enough in your manhood. Now there may be some situations where dudes are like they like being humiliated, dominated like that or whatever. I don't understand that. But I feel as if there has to be some level of security that I don't have if you are like, okay, my guy wants to be with somebody else and wants me to watch, you hell of a motherfucker if you could do it. And I'm just not there. That's why I say it that way.
Okay.
Let's see if they
I
got
just
some
think
comments.
words matter, so that I just
I,
don't like that
I
phrasing.
I hear
But
you. I hear you. I got you. Jeannie said I watched my partner and was cool, but he was not. So I had to rethink it because it was not mutual. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, if it ain't mutual, then I mean, yeah, he cannot get it out of his head. See, that's I understand. So Danielle said I think part of it is possibly a stigma of maybe the main guy can't put it down, and so him watching his lady with someone else, he's seen as weak. Yeah.
that could be a thing too. I'm sure that is a thing for some men too.
Jeannie said, "You gonna skip a stroke, Marv B?" I don't know what that means, but clarify that question, Jeannie, please. Yeah, yeah. I don't know, Tay. What you think? Is it a is it a double standard? I don't want to tell you business, but
Um,
I just did. Go ahead. No,
okay, that's cool. Um, I
you've talked about it before, though. So
yeah, I have. I actually don't think in the mainstream, neither one is accepted for real, for real. Um, both both men and women are looked at weird for wanting that or getting turned on by it or being okay with their partner being with somebody else even when they're not there, let alone watching it. Um so so it's not even as mainstream where you can say it's a double standard, but it is a double standard there. But when it comes to sex, there's always going to be a double standard when it comes to men and women and heterosexual sex, I should say, or what somebody would, could do to make somebody else think, oh, you ain't no man, or you a
I've actually
suspect or something
experienced
like
that.
that.
I've experienced
Mhm.
that. So being part of that lifestyle, I don't think I was like super duper lifestyle. I just was, I say, more open minded than a lot of people.
Mhm.
But whenever I would talk to women, I would let them know, like, yo, I'm in a relationship, um, and my partner knows, because I've been in a couple of relationships where we've been open,
Mhm.
and I'm in a relationship, and my partner knows, and she doesn't mind as long as I'm 100% honest. These are the boundaries, whoop de woo, whatever. And I would say maybe 1 out of 5, you would have a situation where like they'd be like, all right, I'm cool with that. There's some women that I probably could have got with them had I been cheating, if that makes sense. Like
Yes.
had they knew I had a girl and I
Yes.
was and I was cheating on her, they was cool
Mhm.
because I actually had that happen. I actually
Yeah.
had a chick. We for years we had our little flings, our little secret, getaways or whatever. And then when it got to the situation, I was like, well, yo, this ain't secret no more. We could do whatever. She was like, I don't want to be a part of that. What?
Yeah, yeah, I've experienced that. My ex used to tell me everything. Like we didn't really have any secrets, amongst each other, especially because we were in a lifestyle together. That makes it more important for there not to be any secrets because from every almost almost every couple that we met when we first got started getting into groups and stuff, a lot of them are no longer together. Um, and with most of them, it's because of something that happened in the lifestyle, rules breaking down or whatever. So it becomes more important for there to not to be any secrets, for there to be open communication, for y'all to have y'all rules set and nobody cross those boundaries. So my ex, anytime he was flirting with a woman or woman was flirting with him, he would tell me all the time, and vice versa. And there were a couple times I can think of where he was talking to a woman, but once she found out that I knew about her and I was okay with it, then all of a sudden she didn't want to
Yeah.
do it anymore.
Well, that was the situation. I was
Hmm.
saying
Yeah.
it was either I don't want to parts of that, which is fine, right? Cool, get it, because there'll be somebody who will be down with it. But then it was the few that were like, well, "What's wrong with you?" And it was like they looked at me like real judgmental, and it was like, okay, either your dick don't work, your dick is little, or you some type of weak ass dude. None of the three are true, right?
Yeah.
And so it was like, I'm not trying to convince you either way because you're not in a position to judge me at all. I don't even know you. I'm trying to get to know you. But if you're trying to judge me without even knowing me in my situation, like I just said, I'm Mr. Type A personality. I'm a man's man. I'm all of those things. But I believe in being fair with my woman. So if she want to go and have her situation, she can have her situation. Um, but yeah, I could see why guys would judge. Like I was in a situation where I kind of saw a cuckold, like the white boys call it a cuckold. I don't know if
Hmm.
I don't know if that applies to black dudes because I know like
It's the
that.
same thing.
Well, I see the to me the
The
definition.
race doesn't matter.
No, but hold on. But to me, the
Okay.
definition is typically what they say is a white dude who likes to watch his wife get banged out by a black dude.
No, there's a specific name for that, but
What's
the
what's the what's
umbrella
the specific name
term
for
is
that?
cuckold. Huh?
What's the specific name for that?
Um, it's escaping me right now.
It's cool.
Uh,
We'll figure it out. You can look it up while I'm
yeah,
talking. But but that's a big insult for white boys. They call it that. They'll be like, yeah, he's a fucking cuck. They call each
yeah,
that's like a huge insult because they fixated on our penises. They that's just something that they have going on or whatever. But I happened to see the situation live, and I was like, damn, this dude don't even look like he's really enjoying what he's watching. I wasn't involved in it. I was just in a situation where it was happening. And
hmm
I could see how somebody was like, damn, dude, like that's not a good look. But while you looking that up, Jeannie said, meaning when you with her and the thought comes to mind, you're gonna skip a stroll because you in your head when you hitting him. Probably, Jeannie, that just might happen. I've been known to be an overthinker. Um, that's something that I'm working on. But yeah, um, it might happen, but probably not because I probably wouldn't put myself in that situation. I know my limitations. William said, I've watched partners I was just smashing, not in a serious relationship with. Not sure I could do or even desire to do with my wife, at least not with another man. And a lot of guys say that, they're like, well, I could watch you with another woman, but not a man. But see,
yeah.
I question that.
That's
But I
another.
question that though. I question that though, because the other dude, you got what he got. But if she with another woman, she might get turned out, dog. And then she might decide, I don't want penis all the time no more. I'd rather be with a woman. So to say that it's safer to be with to have your partner be with a woman versus being with another dude, I kind of question the logic in that because it definitely could be just the same. She might fall for that woman just as hard as she falls for that dude. You know what I'm saying? Because the woman might be able to do some things you're not able to do.
Yeah. No, I just think that's a stereotype that women do it better. I think women pay attention more, but I'm not sold on women just as a whole do it better.
You saw, remember what was the movie? The TV show P Valley,
Oh
when
yeah.
when
Mhm.
Coach paid for Mercedes and his wife, then found out they was getting it in. He said, "You done turned my wife out." Damn, when they gonna bring P Valley back? I forgot the damn storyline now. Shit,
Oh
they've
gosh.
been gone for so
Um,
long.
I can't find it quickly, but I think that's a subgroup of the whole cuckold um umbrella thing. Yeah.
I don't, I don't know, Tay. I don't know. I don't know. So, do you look at a man differently if he feels like he wants to do that?
No, but when it comes to what people like and their fetishes, I'm open-minded. I mean, and whether I want to do it or not is a completely different story. But I don't necessarily look at people weird just because of their fetishes, unless their fetishes are illegal
Yeah.
or abusive or something like that. And
Yeah.
then even with abuse, there are some fetishes where people like that and it's consensual. So,
Did it
you
take a
know.
lot of convincing for you to delve into that?
No.
Damn. Like you wasn't
I mean, no,
uncomfortable? Like you wasn't like, hold on. You want to talk about this? Or you want me to leave it alone?
I talk about everything else.
So
So this,
like were you like so the first time where like you uncomfortable like because like sometimes motherfucker talk all that shit and be like yeah I want to do this and I want to do that like I use myself for example when I first got into the whole open relationship stuff right first thing you think about was like oh shit I'm gonna be out here in these streets and then when you see that she in the streets too then you kind of like, oh hell no. And that jealousy comes along. And I had to ask myself, like, well, damn, can I do this? And still, if I'm feeling jealous like this, and I talked to some people who were in the lifestyle and I read up on some stuff, and they were like, yeah, jealousy is a natural, emotion. It's a natural reaction. How you handle
Mhm.
it is what matters, right? So, did you feel was there any nerves at all? Because it might have been like y'all brought dude in, then dude
Oh, that's
started.
what that was gonna be my question. Was it me with somebody else or watching him with somebody else?
Okay, so
Actually,
so
the
so
first
him,
time it
him
was
watching you. So him watching you. Did he was he cool, or did he kind of flip out, and were you nervous that he was going to flip out?
well, I was not well. So the guy that I had my first experience with, first of all, my first experience was a couple swap thing
Okay,
in terms of, but we weren't necessarily watching each other, if that makes sense, because we had swapped. So I mean,
okay.
but we were all in the same room, so you had no choice but to watch.
Y'all was
But he
swinging.
was,
Y'all was swinging.
uh,
Y'all was swinging.
uh I
Technically,
guess you want to call it. I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, swinging is an umbrella term too, but we that's a different thing. But he had more experience in the lifestyle than I did. So, and again, I always say this: he was the first guy who made me feel comfortable with exploring my fantasies and anything I want to do. And we had had many experiences up to that point where him being comfortable with me expressing myself had been proven. So I wasn't nervous.
okay.
Now, watching him, that was my first time. So what happened was we had this couple and I mean we met this couple and they were both from the same area of the United States. And so our first time together, like, we were having conversation, getting comfortable with each other, and they clicked like right away. Reminiscing about the state they were from and all that stuff. And I did feel a little, and I'm not one who experiences jealousy often. It's very rare, but I did feel a little pain.
Him and the woman clicked, or him and both of them clicked.
No, him and the woman.
Ah, you and the dude didn't have the same connection.
We did because actually the connection happened through me and the dude. That's
Ah,
how the whole connection happened.
okay.
So he and I we already had a connection.
So him and
But
her was like, him and her was like, you remember back in the motherland where we used to.
this was not that dude. This was not that dude. This guy was from the United States. But they clicked like they clicked and like they were reminiscing. I was like, I don't know if I want this to happen.
And there was a connection there.
There was a connection, but I'll say I don't know. I don't know what it was. Something when I hate this. I hate describing stuff graphically. When they first, when I don't know, as soon as they connected and I saw it, it was like something switched, and I was like, oh, this is a turn on. Like I am turned on. And then she was Hispanic and she was talking Spanish, and it was like, oh, this is a hell of an experience.
Damn.
Oh, and I remember after they left, there was a few more rounds with us just reminiscing off of the whole
Okay.
experience.
Yeah,
So
hey, I feel you. That's dope. That's dope. Jeannie said,
I tell too much of my business.
it's all good. We cut it out if you don't want it. Jeannie says, see, I did it with another woman and man. I was invited into what she thought was hers and it was ours. And she got jealous, but a whole nother topic.
That's happened to me too. But I found out later that the guy was a liar, so he probably even lied to both of us.
Damn. So what we learn from this? I need to start lying. So tell the motherfuckers I love them. So,
But see, that's no, because the guy didn't need to lie, because I met him in the lifestyle. She was also in the lifestyle, so he didn't have to lie. This guy was just a habitual liar. It didn't have anything to do with getting sex. He was just a habitual liar.
which I don't understand because if you're in a lifestyle, like it's contingent upon you being honest about
Exactly.
everything. And
Exactly.
I've been with folks who they can't help but to lie. Because even though you have to be honest about everything, it's still uncomfortable. Like I still may tell you the truth, and you might not like it, but I told you the truth. Like
Right.
I had a partner, she wanted to hear about me and other women. Probably she probably would have watched, but she wanted me to describe what'd you do. I'm like, oh, we hung out. No, 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 no. What'd you do?
She was probably in neurophilia.
And I was uncomfortable with it.
Hmm.
I was uncomfortable with it because in any other situation, she could get triggered easy, right? Like, an argument will start. But when we're talking about that, something so sensual, she wanted to hear. So she was cool with me being with somebody else, but if I said the wrong thing or I breathed the wrong way, she's all in my shit. But I but you wanna go fuck her, go ahead. And then when you come back, I want you to tell me how good it was. And I was like, this is a little bit unnerving.
I get that. It's a I used to say this. I can share his penis, but I'm not sharing his heart. So like I remember an ex of mine, he and I had talked about getting a mutual girlfriend. But I was like, oh hell no, because if you treat her like you treat me, I'm and then my jealousies will come out. So
One of
yeah,
my homegirls said that. She was like, she said, look, you fuck whoever you want, but you can't be their girl, you can't be their boyfriend.
right.
And I was like, damn, for real? She's like, for real. We ain't doing that boyfriend girlfriend experience. Like when you with her, you fucking her. That's it. That's it. So, man. So Jeannie said, I'm not sold on women can do it better than men either. I had to coach her. Okay. And then she said, and the next morning she was on the sofa because she left us in the room. It was crazy.
I always say my worst experience was with a woman. Now she was drunk, but she had been talking all this trash, so I was expecting a lot, and she gave me nothing.
So you never had a woman that was good at.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying my worst experience was a woman. But no, I've experienced goodness when it comes to women.
I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. Yeah. So yeah, we done told a lot about business on this show. We put this on a pay to listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be what we need to do. So yeah. Hopefully Mr. Zamunda don't listen and
I ain't seen that dude in years, so
report the show.
I don't even remember his name.
Damn.
I mean, that was in my 20s. I don't remember his and it wasn't too long after that he did something that pissed me off. So I never saw him again. So yeah, it was a short-lived experience. Although he was a great dancer because we used to go salsa dancing a lot. But
Do
yeah.
you remember every person you've had sex with?
For the most part, yeah. I might not remember a name, but I remember them. So like if I saw him today, I would know who he was, but I don't remember his name.
You can't remember everybody's name you fucked?
Yeah, I do, but his I don't for some reason. Maybe my mind blocked it out. But like I could if you give me a list, I could write down everybody I've been with. It actually, even though I've been in the lifestyle, it actually has not been as many as I think people probably think it
I
has
was going to
been.
say, because you were like, I could make a list. I was like, that's a big ass list. That's a big ass list. Man. That's a big ass list. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But I think like just to put a bow on it, if my girl was to ask if we could do that, yeah. But again, it had to be a lot of discussions. And I think the other piece too, Tay, it can't be with somebody that I know.
I get that.
Like I don't you can't fuck one of my boys. You can't fuck one of my boys. I don't, not be my girl.
Hmm.
If it's some we all friends type of shit, yeah. But my gal and you and my boy, like how we gonna be at the wedding? You know what I'm saying? I know you.
Well, my friends I have them separated. So like my friends that are not in the lifestyle, yeah, they're off limits. But my friends that I've met within the lifestyle, that's cool. But again, they understand the rules.
Would
You
your
know,
lifestyle friends be invited to be in your wedding party?
wedding party. I mean, I'm not a big wedding person, so that probably wouldn't happen. But be a guest, yeah, there are a few that would be there.
Okay. All right. And we said a lot. Do we have a would you or would you not or
I don't have one. Oh gosh.
yeah, we just said a lot. So we appreciate everybody that was active in the comments, especially Jeannie. Jeannie was telling all her business today. Jeannie, you should have came on the show. We'll have you on next time. But anyway, tell me where they can find us.
You can find us at Conversate After Dark everywhere. And if you would like to be a guest on the show, you have a topic you want us to cover, you can reach us at CVAD, the podcast at gmail.com. Make sure you like this video, share it, and subscribe, and like the video.
That's right. Go to our website, www.conversateafterdark.com. Listen to our past episodes. Make sure you tell everybody about the show. We'll holler at you next time. Peace.
Bye.